Hi, and welcome to a Drafthouse Diary from Monday, July 7th, 2025, when I came out here to the Alamo Drafthouse at Westminster, along with Ian Porter, my co-host for the Inter-Millennium Media Project podcast.
Hello, everybody.
And we came out here to see Attack the Block from 2011. And I would say this was a fairly formulaic, fairly by-the-numbers alien attack survival movie. But it had some really significant differences that helped a lot. It was, for one thing, I think it was executed very well. It was filmed, the performances were all very good, but also it was a novel setting. The aliens are attacking a council estate block in a rough part of London, and some of the lads who live there are not going to put up with this.
It's a love letter of a movie, but usually when you hear something being a love letter to a genre piece, you expect a layer of cheesiness. And instead, this plays it completely straight. The action scenes are given weight, and everything is treated with a seriousness that you kind of wouldn't expect from the initial setup, but it makes this work.
It does, and along with the action and the violence and the occasional jump scare, this did have a lot of humor, but the humor came from the ironic kind of humor that the characters themselves had about their situation before and after the alien attack. It wasn't a jokey movie, with the possible exception of Nick Frost's supporting role as a drug dealer.
In a very British way, a lot of the humor in this film, which cuts through all that tension and action, it comes from the dialogue. You'll have a character encounter our alien monsters, describe it in this frantic, weird way, and someone else will dismiss it. Oh, no, you can't. What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. Then that person who was just denying encounters the alien monsters, and the moment they turn around, they use the exact same phrasing to describe the beasts again. And that kind of mimetic reaction is what carries it through. It also makes this rolling ball of protagonists and main characters led by our two leads.
Yeah, this was a breakout film for both John Boyega and Jodie Whittaker.
Kind of amazing to see these two both go on to big name things involving aliens, and yet very different interpretations of aliens than either this film or each other.
Very different. And I've got to say, from the very beginning, I thought this movie was in trouble. Because for me, at least, it started out in significant narrative debt. When the first time we see our main character he is robbing a woman at knife point.
Yeah.
That is going to be a very difficult character for me to see in any kind of heroic way. You start a movie out that way, then for much of the movie, I want one of two things from the movie. I want to see this character's head getting bitten off by an alien, or I want to see some kind of growth and learning from this character, and something done by this character to try to make things right through some kind of sacrifice. I think this movie paid off its narrative debt. I'm not 100% sure, but the fact that I'm thinking about it that much is something in this movie's favor.
Absolutely. The Rob the Girl is kind of an anti-Save the Cat. So doing that with your protagonist and being able to work your way up to giving them an action movie pose and slow-mo chase sequence of that heroic nature really takes some work. And it leaves it on a point where it doesn't have a clean cut, everything's fine. But it definitely gives you hope by the end. And that's valuable. I'd say overall this is a movie very hopeful about humanity, and I will say I do appreciate that in the same time that it's showing humans can be better than our worst instincts, it didn't decide to overdo its aliens as some sort of grand, intelligent fight. These are creatures. These are animals, alien-wise. And that helps the humans and the human choices stand out better.
Yeah, they were pure animalistic monsters, a fact which helps with the resolution of the plot, understanding them as animals, as monsters.
Yeah, it changes this. This is not a chess match of an alien invasion. This is a street fight. in many ways.
Yes.
And that gives our characters space to be the thing that the entity that grows in the story. And that's really important.
So I'm glad we came out to see this.
I did too. I was glad too. This was good.
Other parts of our trip to the Alamo, the pre-show was, as you might have expected, it was definitely crafted for this movie. It was filled with trailers for extraterrestrial monster invasion movies like Critters and Critters 2 and Extro and a handful of others. We had a strange rap music video, Man Not Hot. It involved parkas and Miami. Beyond that, I'm not going to try to explain.
That is an internet meme of a high caliber. I will say I'd heard of it before, but I'd never sat and seen it. And Alamo provided that opportunity.
And it ended with a video of John Boyega reacting to seeing himself for the first time in a Star Wars trailer, and that was just charming. It was great to see.
And I want to appreciate something. This was a pre-show that, as a lot of the pre-shows do, it focuses on one of the actors. It focuses on the lead. So this had multiple other John Boyega referencing pieces to it. And yet, it was showing his wider work and usual, what he's known for in that sense, not purely Star Wars. This was much better researched and reviewed, and I think, to something, the bits they had about him had more of the other things he'd been in around.
I remember there was a music video for a hip-hop song that was a tribute to John Boyega. And did they have clips from his other work?
I think that there were clips in that, but also I think they had I think they had another of his YouTube things in it. I'm not sure. But I know that he'd done some online stuff before, and so showing that as the element, only at the very end did they reference Star Wars stuff.
Yes.
I thought was very important, because it's nice to see them looking at what an actor does more than just the one thing they're known for.
Yeah, those kind of broader retrospectives are always fun. It's not a very long career so far, but still, a great appreciation for John Boyega. For dinner, I got the Breakfast Club sandwich. Hadn't had that in a while. As usual, I swapped the in cheddar instead of the Swiss. And, it's a good basic breakfast sandwich. Mm-hmm. Ian, what do you have?
I got one of my favorites, which is the cauliflower buffalo bites. I got them with the really hot Reaper sauce, and I was very glad they let me swap out the ranch it comes with this time. Mm-hmm. I think that the vegan ranch has fine flavor. The thing I've realized that it doesn't always react well to heat. So unless you're really pulling it off and eating it fast, it doesn't keep its consistency. But they let me swap it out for some of their aioli, and that was amazing on those.
That was good?
Yes.
Yeah.
I also did one of my classic things, which is I ordered their hot coffee, and I asked for a little cup of chocolate syrup with it. They've got the chocolate syrup for doing their shakes, and it's really easy to just pour a bit into your mug and make yourself a mocha. If you want a bit of that sweet treat and that little bit of extra to the coffee, they're really kind about that, and it's a good move.
A nice menu tip for the Alamo.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for joining us for this Drafthouse Diary. I'll be back soon with more. In the meantime, enjoy your movies, and when you do, stay till the end of the credits.